Good morning. I haven't got my phone on me to show you what time it is. I think it's about 20 past 8 in the morning. Happy New Year. I wanted to do a video for my brother Pete. I want to show you the property damage they did here. So, as you can see, here is a gate. And there's a gap under the gate here. So, on Friday the 12th of December, somewhere between 2 o'clock and like 2:30, while I was at the vet, taking my dogs to the vet to have fucking stuff done to their anal glands, for fuck's sake. I returned home covered in fucking Willow and River's anal gland juice to find that someone had been here and they lifted the gates. So they simply loosened the screws, lifted the gate as high as it could go, and tightened the screws back in. Either that, or they completely shifted the position of the hinges. So I repeat, they did this at my home within like a half an hour or an hour time frame as soon as I left. And I had to call 000 when I returned home because there was an intruder in my home. And it was like they were so convinced I wasn't going to be returning to my home that they started making renovations, preparing for their bigger dog or dogs to come and live at my home. Like they literally just... It's like they think it's fucking Donkey Kong or something, you know. It's like, as long as we get the key, we can prove it's our house, we'll just lock her out and, you know, she can find somewhere else to live. It's honestly the attitude of these people, right? So it's like, Pete has already had to adjust these gates so many times. If anybody knows these gates better than I do, it's my brother Pete. And that's why I need him to come here to have a look at the gates and adjust the gates for me. Because currently River and Willow can't enjoy our backyard because the gate is now too high. And River could slither under there. He's a skinny little runt. And other dogs could slither under there. Like a little whippet. You know, my dogs would look like fucking bait to a whippet, you know. So, remind me at some point to tell you about the Bennett Road dog attack. Let me fix the gap and I'll tell you about the Bennett Road dog attack. Basically, Willow, River and I were bait. Live bait for a dog attack. Staged dog attack at the Bennett Road shop just around the corner, the Milk Bar. So they were... I keep thinking they were stag hounds, but they weren't. They were like a more dangerous hunting dog than a stag hound. Not dogs that should be in town, just running around like wild dogs in the street. Like it was full Hunger Games here back around April. So I did actually have the the right tools in the past myself to put on the drill to adjust these gates myself. But the Eastern Star version of Pete, who comes here sometimes or used to come here, like, he's stolen my tools as well. So it's like I don't even have the tools anymore to fix it myself. And for some reason I'm like, can't communicate with my brother Pete, who would normally come and do these sort of jobs for me. So, like, I told the cops. I thought the cops would have, like, busted someone for vandalism or something by now and, you know, given me some money to say, hey, here's money from the court fund, book a tradesperson to fix what these other people have broken on your property, you know. Sorry they did this to you before Christmas. They're really horrible people, Lisa. You don't deserve this, but, you know, I don't know. They haven't done that. So anyway, my temporary solution at the moment, Broface, is the Besser blocks to cover up the gap. But, like, I don't even feel like I can have the dogs in the backyard to go to the toilet without having them on a lead. Like, there has been someone, a neighbour, who's been using a dog whistle and trying to lure my dogs out through the gate. Like, there's just been times the gate's magically opened in the past. And my dogs have magically gotten out, and it's like they go to the same place every time as though there's a fucking dog whistle being used. And dog whistles can't really be heard by humans. So it got to the point where I couldn't just have a latch on the gate anymore. I had to put like a 2-step verification locking process on the gate, you know, just to slip a padlock through, you know, so the gate can't just be lifted with a fishing hook across the fence or something, as an example. You know, it got to the point ages ago I couldn't leave the house and leave Willow and River in the backyard. It wasn't safe for them. We'll go inside anyway. I've made a cuppa. Sorry if I'm a bit jolty with the camera on the way. I'm not a professional camera person, and the tripod I'm using is a $20 job from Kmart. Rightio. I'll just grab my cuppa and I'll be back. So it's 8:28 a.m. Just flicked over to 8:29 a.m. on Thursday, the 1st of January. We've got 3% charge left on this phone. I better pop it on the charger. So I won't put any music on during this video. I'll just tell you some stories, hey? A little bit more stable than what I was in yesterday's video. Honestly, yesterday I was freaking out. And it's been very hard to get that message out. Not just to help me, but to help our entire community at the minute. So, it looks like the video finally uploaded. It took hours for that live video to process and upload yesterday. So, got there in the end. But let me tell you about this dog attack that happened back in April. So, I actually just went to go around the corner to use the laundromat to wash, it was like I was going to wash some doonas or something. I just wanted to use the big washers. And the last minute I decided I needed to take the dogs with me. And my intuition told me, whatever you do, don't leave the sausages in the backyard while you literally just go around the corner to go to the laundromat. And I pulled up out the front of the laundromat. There was a guy in a blue ute that pulled up behind me basically immediately. He had a yellow high-vis jumper on, and he basically got out and started filming on his camera, or he had his phone in his hand straight away. So at the time, I didn't think anything more of it, but looking back, he was there ready to film the whole fucking thing. And then the lady from around the corner sort of came over to say hello and wanted to pat the dogs. She had her head in the back of the car patting the dogs. And then that's when I saw these two big, I'm just going to call the wolfhound, I think it was a staghound, or the other way around. These two just galloped around the corner directly towards the shop front door, the milk bar. And so I said to this lady, we need to shut the doors on the car straight away. I need to protect the sausages. So the car doors on the Scooby-Doo were shut, but the keys were in the ignition. The keys were in the ignition and the car was still running. Because I was literally just planning to run in and out of the laundromat. That might sound weird, might sound like, yes, it is highly illegal. I'm a country person. Country people do these things. We really shouldn't do these things around Horsham anymore, apparently. But this is the way I grew up, so it's quite normal for me to leave the car running while I walk in to just stick the stuff in the laundromat, So anyway, these two dogs come and they gallop directly to the front door of the milk bar. And then there was a man, a woman, and a teenage boy, and I think they just had a small whippet dog with them, walked out of the childcare centre that was right next to the milk bar. And these two hounds started attacking this family. And so I went over to help because one of these hounds was actually biting onto the guy's arm. And by the time I got over there, the dog was hanging off the guy's arm. The dog's teeth were in the guy's arm. And I actually had to find the full force and lift my leg as high as I possibly could, and I had to kick the dog in the chest to get it to come off the guy's arm. And then the dogs started circling the teenage boy, and I think the little whippet dog that was in the guy's arms that he was protecting, the dog was bitten as well. It was a terribly horrific experience. And then when one of the dogs came and circled back around to go to the Scooby-Doo, I just yelled at it in its face to scare it away from the sausages in the car. And then when I went back to the car, I don't know if I found one of the doors open. River was unbuckled from his seatbelt. magically, you know. So I don't know if that woman around the corner unbuckled him. She had dog registration papers in her hand that was all of a sudden very sus. Nigel, the dog catcher, was like, they'd got a call prior to my timeline about some dogs being out. I'm just trying to think what else happened. Like, it was basically such a traumatic experience for me that I couldn't get the car to start because I had the interlock device in the car and I was quite new to the interlock. I was kind of panic breathing, hyperventilating. I was kind of hyperventilating so much I couldn't use the interlock device to start the car, so I was stuck. So I had to call Robinsons and get them to send out one of the boys to come and help me to blow on the interlock to start the car. But that's how much it affected me. I was stuck there for a couple of hours. And then I think later that day I got a text message from some proper fucking douchebag sus cunt. I'm not saying his name because I'm not giving him any fucking credit. But if anyone who's anyone in the local area knows who I'm talking about, he's nothing more but a fucking dog cunt. Not welcome anywhere in the Wimmera because he's a pedophile. So unless you want to take credit for being a pedophile, I don't suggest you go jumping up and down saying, oh, it's me she's talking about. No, it's not something to be fucking proud of, mate. So anyway, Andy, keep your daughter away from him. Like, he was somehow connected to it. Like, I knew it was either me or my dogs were literally planned bait that day. And I knew that that person had something to do with it because I had like a missed phone call from him. And then old love around the corner just shows up at my front door offering support. If you're scared, you're welcome to come and stay at our house for the night. And I was like, holy shit. Like, why are these people so desperate to get me to come and have a fucking sleepover? Like, I don't even know you, lady. I don't know you. And your son's like 20 years too young for me. I find this really creepy, you know. Get the fuck off my property. So, that was back in April. Nigel and his colleague from the Horsham Rural City Council, they came around, they took a statement from me about the dog attack. Apparently it went to court. Willow. Hey. See. Hey. Oi. So that's the way Willow and River react to the next door neighbours and their dog. They're the people next door that they don't want me doing videos. So whenever I try to do videos, they're basically watching the videos and they're like, let's do whatever we can to fuck up the video. Let's make the dogs bark. That's why they're baiting, like, like they're abusing my dogs. Those people that just did what they just did at, 8:30 in the morning? See, the gang stalkers, they kick off. Sometimes they start as early as 6:30. You know, there was a chick over in the corner, she was just contracted to get a fucking loud exhaust and just in and out of the street 20 times a day. And just rev it up right in front of my house. And then she got some of her friends to come and do it as well. You know, sometimes like, I'll literally go for a nap in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. And as soon as I walk into my bedroom, music will start across the street. It's like, is there cameras in my home that are watching me? You know, so this is how they try to push you towards insanity because they deprive you of sleep. They don't actually have to be inside your home to deprive you of sleep. They can simply just drive backwards and forwards up your street every fucking hour with a loud V8. You know, and they're actually being paid for it. So basically what's happened in the local area is I think a cult came after me. An actual cult. Like, it may even be that group called The Family. So all these characters that have been running around trying to convince you of their narrative about Lisa, they're potentially members of the cult called The Family. So I'm not part of a cult. I'm not an active member of a cult. It would explain why I feel like I'm being human trafficked. It would explain why these people think they, you know, just because they're friends, they should have keys to my home or whatever their bullshit fuckery story is. I'm going to put a quick shout out to Sonia, my old neighbour. That's your ex over the road, right? Black ute guy. Why did he leave the ladder out overnight? I don't feel like that's something he would normally do. He was up on the ladder yesterday at like fucking 4 o'clock doing some sanding, and this fucking blonde woman, his new missus, comes home, pulls a car up in the driveway, marches over to the fucking ladder, basically drags him down the fucking ladder from his sanding. Get in the car, we've got a New Year's Eve emergency at 4:10 that you have to stop your fucking sanding right now. Like, Sonia, does your ex need someone to check if he's okay? Does he live there by himself or is his brother there with him as well? Like, I don't mean to be nosy neighbour and all, but that chick with the navy blue station wagon, she gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, do they actually want her there or is she pain in the proper ass? I don't know what your opinion is, Sonia, but, you know, they're on that side of the street, but they're me bros still. They're me neighbour bros. It's just gone peace and quiet all of a sudden. So, I was talking about the dog attack. Yes, so that happened back in like April, May. And because that happened just around the corner from home, I've been too scared to walk the sausages ever since then. Because I know we've been literally getting hunted, and, you know, I felt there was a very high risk that if I simply just took the dogs for a walk around the block, that a big angry dog would just be accidentally get out of the yard and, you know, have been specifically trained to hunt the smell of these two cute little sausages. Because once again, I've been experiencing such extreme abuse that if I'm correct that there has been hidden surveillance cameras put in my home, it may have potentially ended up on the dark web where they end up putting you on some sort of, I don't know, I think it could have potentially ended up being like a trauma, like a trauma site where people pay money to traumatise you and other people want to watch you getting traumatised. Like, there was one day, I just woke up and I had this huge bite on my ankle. You know, it was like I had a nap one afternoon, and while I had a nap, something bit me. And it looked like a lizard or a snake's mouth. And it was real manky looking. And so I was like, if I've got a ringworm from the dogs, that just became really huge, like overnight. So I was like, it's not a ringworm, it's a bite of sorts. You know, and it was like the people I was telling about these things were friends. One of them was a girlfriend from school, a good little church girl, married woman, her own children, used to work in the pharmacy, you know, an upstanding member of society who you think would care. But I ended up finding out like that person was actually someone who was kind of like laughing about it. It's really weird when you find out that like that girl from school who, like, we didn't even think Candice farted. You know, she's so psychopath that she would. Well, she tried to destroy another woman's life out of jealousy. She's that level of psychopath, you know. And the thing is that knowing her and her husband like my entire life, you could very easily be forgiven for thinking that it would be him that is the bad person in that relationship. If anyone was to cry domestic violence situation, you would expect it to be her saying, he hits me or something like that. And this girl was so close to me, like basically my entire life, that my brain just couldn't comprehend that she would be the bad person. And so now that I've come to the acceptance of how, like, I know I shouldn't label her because I'm not a mental health professional, but from my experience from her, she's top level psychopath. And if she'd do something like that to one of her girlfriends who she claims she's helping, like, imagine sleeping in the bed next to something like that every fucking night. Imagine if you had two beautiful little girls, children, to something like that. Like, those little girls are at high risk. You know, if she does not have a compassionate bone in her body to care about what she has done to me, physically, mentally, emotionally, how could you trust her to raise two little girls? Like, blonde hair, blue-eyed, Aryan race type thing. These are the kind of people who, you know, pay for play with their children, sort of thing. I'm not saying that's what they're doing, don't try and sue me. But that's what happens with some people. You know, that you sometimes think the most nicest people in the society would take the best care of their children, and sometimes they treat their children the worst. A lot of those times those people are the highest members of council. So the video that I did yesterday, as I like stopped the live video, I could see there was a handful of comments on the screen from while the video was going. But now that the video is actually posted, I can't even see those comments. So sorry if you did comment on the video and I haven't responded. It's a problem I've been having with my YouTube channel for a long time. So I could see there was 20 or so odd views in 24 hours. That's actually quite a big improvement on my YouTube channel, to be completely honest. But it's like someone was constantly getting access to my Gmail account. So, you know, it was like as soon as I'd post a video and it would load, someone would change the visibility setting to private or whatever. And I don't know, at the time I sort of convinced myself it was YouTube doing it or something. But it's quite clear someone else was like logging in. it's just like the settings and stuff kept getting changed. You know, I put like a watermark, thumb mark, copyright print thing on all of the videos, and it was able to apply it retrospectively to every video in my YouTube diary. But there was just like one or two videos here or there it wasn't on. It had been completely removed. And I'm like, how have you removed it? You know, the little box there is still ticked, it should still be doing it. I just cracked the shits with it in the end, and I was like, I can't be fucked. And so that's why I started doing the live videos over on X, which was really good. And then, well, I just found it started to be worse because people were mass reporting my videos, therefore they were no longer visible. It broke the entire thread, you know, like I'd do a live video about a certain topic, and then I'd gather all this random data that I would add in the comments under the video, and it would look like, you know, a dog's breakfast. It wasn't pretty, but that's the whole point of just gathering data, is just lumping it all together in the one place so you can make it pretty later. Or someone else can come along and they can look at it all and they go, ah, she's gathered all the data. I know how to make this pretty, you know. But it's like, instead of just sharing my content, people were ripping my videos and completely stealing them, you know. And some of those videos, like, they went fucking viral. It's really annoying to watch a video of yourself go viral on an account. They made money from a video I did, and they didn't even tag me in, like, my YouTube channel. They didn't tag in my X account. Like, they took full credit for my video and just laughed about it, you know. It was some intelligence community wanker called Stu. So I've come to learn a lot about the intelligence community when I went over to X back in 2022. There's good intelligence community and there's bad intelligence community. The bad intelligence community, as an example, are the people who killed Charlie Kirk. I repeat, the bad intelligence community are the people who killed Charlie Kirk. And I believe it was an American CIA camera gun that was used to kill him, wasn't it? The guy that was wearing the brown shirt? Exactly. It was called a monopod. 2. The brown shirt guy, and the other guy with the other CIA camera on the single pole. If you have a look on my Twitter profile, if you just go to my Twitter profile at Lisa_Hart and do a keyword search for CIA camera gun, you'll find a photo of the 2 guys under the tunnel. One of them's wearing a brown shirt. I think he had a black cap on under the tunnel. Short sleeve brown shirt. And I think the other guy had like black spiky hair. He was a younger looking dude. He might have been wearing a black polo shirt. That was the monopod, the pod made up of 2 people of Manchurian candidates. So I guess that's around the time that my Twitter went real bad. Some of those people from TPUSA, they didn't like what I was pointing out. That Erica Kirk, proper fucking honeypot. American national security, get that fucking cunt out of the fucking White House immediately. You've already identified that she was a fucking honeypot for fucking Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was killed to break Donald Trump's fucking heart. Like, is Donald Trump even okay? I mean, TPUSA put a fucking call out for help saying, Team America, we're under coup. Has anyone in America done anything about the fucking coup? I mean, Trump had his secret security people fucking killed. Has anyone looked into Sebastian Gorka? He's a big fat fucking red flag, guys. He's in there at TPUSA, and he's in there as Donald Trump's right-hand man advisor or something, right? Just look him up on Wikipedia. Take out a highlighter, highlight all the red flags in his resume that says, this cunt's a spy. Oh my God, we're so fucking dumb. We've got this fucking Hungarian spy working in the American government. No wonder we're under siege, cunts. Why have we got to get this fucking chick from Australia to figure this out? You know, I'm fucking here basically hostage myself. And it's like, oh, can you come help America, Lisa? Who's going to pay me the fucking money? You know, put the money in my bank account. Fuck's sake. So anyway, I think it's fucking weird that old mate left his fucking ladder out overnight, eh? Who have I slipped into? I've had it as to channeling come through. Not allowed to say today. Interesting. Sometimes I have some of these spirits who connect with me. I ask them to tell me who they are and they won't tell me straight away. It's like they also get shy with me. So they sort of get, oh, we'll make a bit of confidence first. And once we make the confidence, then we'll reveal the name. Maybe 24, 48 hours. I don't know why. It's feeling a little bit like Guido Hatzi's, eh? I don't believe he's dead, though. I did actually channel Chopper Reed the other day. That was fucking cool. Chopper Reed actually helped me to get a list of the CIA drop points in Australia. Let me find. Just gotta find my notepad. Ah, here. Pardon me. I hope it's still in the notepad and not floating around as a loose leaf. Ah. This is it. I found it. Okay. I haven't put a date on this, but it was like maybe 2 weeks ago. Oh, well, it was about the 5th of December, maybe the 4th of December. So I connected with Chopper Reed. So the places you want to be looking at for CIA drop points, the CIA drop point is just a shipping container yard in a place that you wouldn't really have a shipping container yard. So we've got 4 locations in Victoria to look at: Horsham, Geelong, Warrnambool and Mount Gambier. I believe they're doing a run between Mount Gambier and Horsham's. There's a well-known transport company from Mount Gambier that I think you should have a look into. In New South Wales, I think you should have a look at Orange, Lithgow and Coffs Harbour. Probably going to find some drop points, big shipping container yards there. In Queensland, Brisbane, Townsville and Cairns should be looked at, 3 locations. In Brisbane in particular, P&O Cruise Lines for some reason are a very big red flag. You want to have a look up in Darwin, Top End, Northern Territory. And Victor Harbour, Kangaroo Island, South Australia. focused in on the energy of Kangaroo Island. I did not like that at all. I'm just going to put it in the same sort of bucket as Epstein Island. It's Apollo. That's who I'm connected with. That's when... It's like when I do the Hakate accent, but it's not quite a Hakate, that's when it's Apollo. That's who it is. I have a note here from Apollo on the 5th of December at 11:56 a.m. Lisa, we broke the generational curse of the arranged marriage timeline. Just before I ask you to document this note, you would just say to me, we are safe now, Hakate. You are safe. So the way I was previously explaining this kind of accent was Batman, Lisa. Funny. Oops. Ah, yes. Architects. We need to have a talk about this. Okay, Apollo. Can I ask you to step out now, please? I'm going to have to talk in the Lisa voice. Yes. Okay, please start. Thank you. Okay. All right, yes. Okay, I have this note. Right. So, this Horsham Truck Show, right? Apparently all of the money that you raised for the charity was raised for the WAC charity, the Wimmera Against Cancer in Kids charity. Now, I believe this charity was initially opened as a non-profit charity back in around 2001. It survived for about 10 years and then was shut down back in about 2011. So, why was the WAC charity shut down back around then? Why was it reopened? Is it the same people from before, the same people now? I mean, if you go and Google the WAC charity, you'll find that they don't just do charities for cancer in kids, they also do charities for people with disabilities. Now, if you do a quick little search about NDIS fraud, you'll find that people with disabilities get used for fraud claims through NDIS and through Centrelink a lot. So it's like, say for example, someone wants to claim that they are a carer for me. They might say they are providing a service for the WAC charity as a carer. Therefore, they're going to take all the benefits for me and they're supposed to pass the benefits on to me. But that's not happening, it appears. It's like there's a block in the process somewhere between... It's like there's lots of good people in the community that want to actually donate their money, thinking they're donating it for cancer, you know. But like heaps of people are sitting there going, well, what happened to all the money we donated? Where is it? You know, you said that you were raising money for Lisa as an example, but like, why didn't Lisa get her hair done? You said you were raising money so Lisa could get her hair done. That's why everyone donated. And I went and saw Lisa the other day. She hasn't had her hair done for a year. So I channeled a number a few weeks ago and the number was 270,000. So it's like that October weekend, Halloween weekend. Apparently $270,000 was donated that weekend in the local community. It's just like disappeared. And the people who made the money disappear don't like that we're asking questions. It's like, guys, it's a fucking charity for kids with cancer. How rude are you? And it's like, how rude are you to use kids with cancer to commit your fraud. So that's my suggestion for today, guys. Jump onto Google, do a little search for whack. So that's w.a.c.k. Why whack? You know, it personally gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's like, are you just going to get a baseball bat and whack some sense into them, or did you just take them all out to Blue Ribbon Raceway and just whack them out there? Did anybody, like, was there a forensics team that went out to Blue Ribbon Raceway like I suggested? Did the forensics team go out to Blue Ribbon Raceway and find any DNA samples of anybody? Those two little minivans that I took photos of, got the number plate, the location they're parked. Did anybody do any DNA swabs on those vans? So these are all the suggestions I've made to people in the past, thinking I'm providing this information to people that want to do something and help. But it's like, I was telling the wrong person, guys. I was telling the problem. Anyway, I'm busting for the toilet, so I will finish this video. You want to say hello, breakfast sausage? No? Have a wonderful day, and we will chat to you again sometime soon. Peace.